Okay, so if you didn't skip ahead, you would have just seen my arrangement of Stardust. It's a Hoagy Carmichael tune. It's one of my favourite songs ever. It's just amazing. And on that subject, I just want to point out that when I arranged this, I really wanted it to be, I basically shut my eyes and imagined, how can this sound as good as possible on the guitar, within my mind. I'm not saying it's better than anyone else's version, but the idea was to not worry about being overly technical or any, independent thumb bass lines, nothing like that. I just wanted it to sound as good as it could sound. I think it's in the key of C, actually. But it starts from the F, which again, it's a very, very clever arrangement. So this one, first note's a D, so that's the first note of our melody. Obviously the melody's down here, but I've moved it up to make it more friendly for the guitar. So the first chord here is basically thinking F major, an F6/9. So I'm going to just say the fret numbers as we work our way down from the lowest string. We're on the 5th string, and I've got the 2nd finger on the 8th fret. I'm barring the 7th with my 1st finger on the 4th and 3rd string. My 3rd finger's playing the 8th fret on the 2nd string, and my pinky's playing the melody note with the D on the 10th. So that's our first step. We then bring our 2nd finger across to the C on the 6th string, so that's on the 8th fret, and I now, actually not a great start, I realised I was lying to you. I'm actually fretting the 10th fret there, so 8, 7, 7, 10, 10. I'm doubling up there, sorry, let me clarify that. So we strum through, there's our first note. We bring our 2nd finger across and we drop our 3rd finger. We do the same thing we're doing with our pinky at the 10th with our 3rd now at the 8th. So we're going 8, 7, 7, 8, 8. Okay, grab yourself pen and paper and write these down if you need to. Draw yourself some box shapes, probably help. I'm going to move fairly quick because you can stop the video at any point and go back. So here's our first 2 chords / melodies. Alright, still flattening across these middle 2 strings. Flattening that. So we've got our then. Okay, so this is still an F6/9, but with a C in the bass. So now we go right back to the 5th fret with our 2nd finger. 1st finger's on the 3rd fret of the 4th string. Okay, and that's on the 6th string, by the way. 4th string. Okay. So, we were here. We're now playing the 5th fret on the 3rd string, 5th fret on the 2nd string, and 5th fret on the 1st string. And muting that 5th string by just leaning on it with that 2nd finger. Okay? Okay, you can use your pinky to help. It doesn't really matter how you do it as long as you get that chord. So now we drop back to just a good old F major. I use my thumb, 3rd on the 4th string there at the 3rd fret, 2nd on the 2nd fret there of the 3rd string, and 1st finger there on the 1st fret of the 2nd string, flattening to get the F on the 1st string. Now I strum right across. It's okay if you mute that. I tend to mute it with the 3rd finger, but you don't have to. It still works. Gets a little thick if you do, but I think I do tend to mute that 5th string. Maybe sometimes I do, maybe sometimes I don't. It's music. So what we've got so far. Now what I do is I'm playing the 4th string open and the 3rd fret there on the 2nd string. So what I'm doing, I'm lifting up the 3rd finger from the F. I'm dropping the pinky there, and I'm basically playing the open D string and the D there to thicken up that D, and I still hit that F down there in the bass. And if you want to use all 3 fingers here, you can also play that A. You got a few options. So we've gotten down to there, and then we work our way up the way we came. The F. By the way, this is an F/A, F major 7/A. Now so we play that, which you learnt before. So and then I go right up to the 12th fret, and I just get a harmonic there with the pinky, and then I play an F-7 chord. Now I am fretting right across, but it's up to you whether you hit the 6th string or not. It can thicken it up a little bit. That chord, by the way, we're barring right across the 8th fret. Putting our 3rd finger on the 10th fret of the 4th string. Putting our 2nd finger goes on the 9th fret of the 2nd string. Okay, but don't forget, hold your pinky down here. So we're just playing an F minor 7, but it's actually a minor 7 with a major. So it's actually an F minor major 7. Come to think of it, you probably don't... I just realised, and I apologise that I do this, because after weeks of work on these pieces you sometimes forget little details, but that third finger is leaning over, and I'm probably most of the time intending to block that third string, because it can sound a little bit hairy if we get the minor 7, which is the 8th fret there on the third string, and the natural 7. Those two don't work together. I think during that performance before, I may have actually hit both, and it didn't sound great. So, but just forget I said that, because you probably didn't know. Okay, so that's the chord that we want. F minor 7 with that 12th fret there, and as a result, F minor major 7. From here, we drop back to a good old B flat dominant 7. Okay. Now, as I mentioned before, I didn't want to overcomplicate these chords with too many extensions or, bass lines or weird notes. I've tried to keep it fairly simple. But often to get melodies in there, we need to do some more complex things anyway. So this is a B flat 7, which you may be familiar with, you may not. But I play it like this. I'm flattening right across, 6th, 5th, and 4th. The second finger goes onto the third string at the 7th fret. And basically, you've got to use your fingers carefully. There's strings you don't want to hit. For example, if you hit the 5th string, it's not going to sound good. So I'm playing the 6th string, the 4th string, the 3rd string, and the 1st string with my right hand. I give it a little bit of a roll, and that can take a bit of practice if you're not used to it, but you don't have to, you can. Alright, so this chord stays the same on the 6th, 4th, and 3rd. We do a little bit down here with our fingers, so we play the 10th there with our pinky on the 1st string. We're playing the 8th with the 3rd finger on the 1st string again. Now we're playing the 9th on the 2nd string. Then we lift up the pinky and we're playing the 6th fret on the 2nd string with our barred finger. And then we pick the 3rd string, which we're already holding the note that we want, so that's not too hard. Whoop. Okay, from here, so we play the 10th. Now we play the 10th fret here on our way to forming this C chord. It's just a good old-fashioned C major. If you've never played a C major bar chord, this is going to be a very tough lesson for you, but persist by all means. So you play, or whatever the words are there. I probably should check them out, but okay. So just like a C chord, but I'm not worrying about barring. It's actually a little easier. Like the F you may have learnt, all the way up here. So it's just a C chord, and this is probably one of my favourite things about this arrangement. Is just some of these really simple chords that I just didn't think anything else was needed because it's such a strong melody. Okay. From here, this gets a little bit more interesting. I looked at the melody and it was a straight run of possible harmonics, so this is what I've done. Alright, so what we're doing here, I'm hitting the 6th string open, and at the same time, I pluck the 2nd string and I just lightly fret that 12th fret. Then I hit the 12th, the harmonic at the 12th on the 1st, then on the 2nd again, then on the 3rd. Now this is a little bit different here. What I do is I'm fretting the 11th with my 1st finger, then I'm gently laying my 2nd finger across the 12th fret so that we get the harmonics on the 12th of the 5th and the 12th of the 6th string. So you can see that, and you can see I'm hitting that 11th there. So, just like that. Alright, now, so the chords there, E minor. Okay, it's a little bit harder on this guitar because of the radius of the neck than the guitar I've been practicing on recently, but that's okay. Not making excuses. That's, in the actual song, at this point, it's an A7. From here, we play D minor. This is a D minor 7 now. Now, in the song, it goes. Alright, so it's a D minor, and then it goes to an A7, then it goes back to a D minor. But I just followed what I heard here. I heard a nice descending little line that goes with it. Again, not a technical pursuit, just what I heard. Alright, pay attention. 2nd finger goes on the 10th fret there. third and pinky onto the 10th fret of the third and second. You got no idea how much of a mouthful all this stuff is. Okay, well you probably do, you're listening. So thumb hits the 6th string, pluck these two. Then as we play the 8th fret here, bring your second finger back to the 9th fret and pluck the 1st string, which our first finger is now grabbing the 8th fret. So, alright, then from here, so now I have actually brought my 3rd finger back. I'm not actually using it at this point. Alright, I'm still using that 2nd string. Then I'm not worrying about any other fingers, just bring that 2nd finger back one more to the 8th. Play the 6th fret with the 1st finger on the 2nd string, and of course pinch the 6th string and the 3rd string with your 1st finger, and the 2nd string with your 2nd finger. So now we get this G in there, and I don't know if it's the most practical thing. I guess at this point it goes to A7. That G natural is part of an A7, but it was really just fumbling around and looking for something nice. Okay, so I'm playing the 6th fret there on the 2nd, then I play the 8th fret, and that's on its own. Add that 8th fret, go back to the 7th, play the 5th fret on the 2nd string, and then just bring your 1st finger up. Alright, so that's E, F, and that's with the pinch. And with the 3rd string again, we're kind of pedaling that on the way down at this point. Now again, I'm grabbing the A, the open A, the open D string, and a D natural. It's almost like a oddly stacked D power chord, sort of metal or rock or something. But again, it just seemed to work. It was really, really simple. But what else can I want? Okay, now, so that's covering your D minor. But we don't even have a 3rd in there, which is almost sacrilege when it comes to jazz. But like I said, it just sounds, to me, this is just how I wanted this piece to come out in the end. And again, I've got arrangements that are way harder, way more flashy, but this is, so far, I've not had one that's as nice to play. Now, nice and simple, E, D. Okay, when your love was new. Really, really easy again, just that G bar chord without worrying about the G. The 5th in the bottom is a really, really nice sound. Okay, and so 5th fret there on the 2nd, 3rd fret on the 2nd, strum the chord, and make sure you get that 1st string. Now this note here, that little run there, just something I heard in my head, could imagine, so wanted to add that in. So I'm just playing a D minor triad. 5 on the 5th string, 3 on the 4th string, 2 on the 3rd string, and just pluck them, and then hit the open B, then work your way back, and then play a G again, so then strum the G up to the 3rd fret on the 2nd string, add the pinky on the 5, so we get, okay, you're going to lose that note that's ringing there, but that's okay. Now bar across the 7th fret, okay, bar across the 7th fret, put your 2nd finger on the 8th fret, and we're just plucking the 6th string, and then we're getting the 7th fret on the 3rd string by pressing really hard with our 1st finger and barring across to that. So 6th string and 2nd string together, then pluck the 3rd string. Now we're going to play a G augmented at the 10th fret. So that's like very much stepped very neatly. So it's 10 on the 5th string, 9 on the 4th string, 8 on the 3rd string. Okay. You just want to strum the 5th, 4th, and 3rd, and then you hit that 2nd string after you've strummed those two, because that's crucial to the melody, that note. Now all we do is we bring that 2nd finger to the 3rd string, drop the pinky down, and we're playing that C chord again. That C chord without the C major bar chord without that barred across. Okay, so we're strumming 5th, 4th, and 3rd again. Bring the pinky across to the 10th fret on the 2nd string. Again, that's our melody note. Okay, just played that C chord. You've played your melody note. This is a bit tricky, this part, but again, it's sort of something that Hoagy Carmichael does in the piano, and I just kind of wanted to incorporate it in. A little nod to... Okay, so I'm doing this, and then I'm doing that, all the while playing a bit of a riff at the top here, a little bit of a fill. So it's a bit of a stretch. I'm using my third. You'd be welcome to use your pinky, but I've got my third on the 12. I've got my first on the 8th. And then I play the second on the 10. And sorry, 8th is on the second string, by the way. And obviously 3rd is on the 6th string. My third finger, or the 12. So 8, 10 on the second with the second. Then I grab the 11th fret with my second finger. And I put my pinky on the 12th fret of the second string. Now, as you play this note here, because the lick is ba, 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 and we're chromatically walking down to where we play a D later on. You've actually got to, as you grab that 10th fret, get the harmonic on the first string. This is really tricky. Alright. Even I'm not really nailing that. There we go. Okay, so I give that a little bit of breath there because I like the sound of that harmonic. So you're effectively fretting the 10 and using a harmonic. So it's quite challenging, it became quite challenging in the end because I wanted to, I could hear harmonics at sections, but sometimes I'm fretting one note and hitting the harmonic on another, and it's quite challenging. The touch element of it's quite difficult, so something to practice. So after you've done that, thumb, well, basically we're playing, we're barring the 10th fret, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st at the 10th. The second finger goes onto the 11. Okay, the pinky, so the second finger goes on the 11 of the 3rd string. Apologies for taking the name in vain for anyone who's religious there too. There we go. Now, the pinky plays the 12th fret, so I'll just square up a little bit so I can see that. But the thumb hooks around, and now we get a really full, thick chord. Okay, and I like that sound. Alright, see if you can have a go at that by ear rather than me tell you every little trick there. It's all with the pinky. Then we lift it, and again on the first string. Then you play the 13, then you lift it on the second string, and you should be able to hear that 10 on. So we're playing a D7 at this point. Oh, sorry. Alright, you have a go at that yourself. I've shown you what we're holding. The pinky kind of does a bit of work there, or else we're holding notes from the chord. Now get that second finger across. Sorry, sometimes my screen goes off and then I can't see what I'm doing there, so I don't know what you're seeing, and then I have to do that, so if you're wondering what happens there. So back to here. Second finger goes, we're now playing like a version of a D7, playing the 10, there's the 10th fret on the 4th string, and then the first finger on the 9th fret there, because that melody note goes low. Then we play the F sharp on the 11 with the pinky. So now we use harmonics, and this bit's kind of fun. So we go. So that was a harmonic at the 12th on the B string, second string. Now we do the harmonic at the 12th on the 4th string. Now we play the 6th fret on the 3rd string, then the 5th fret. Now I grab the 9th fret on the 2nd string with my pinky and I bend it because we want the A. So it's a bit kooky. Okay, so we have a harmonic section now after we do, completely harmonic section after we do that bend. Alright, and it's that line when he says, something in the stardust of a song, something like that. And that goes, so on the 4th string we do the 12th fret. We do the 12th fret on the 3rd string now, harmonic twice. Then we do the 7th on the 4, then on the 3rd. Then we do the 12th again on the 4. Then we do the 7th on the 4. And then we do the 12th on the 3. Okay, so at full speed, or sorry, in flow. Okay, harmonics are always counterintuitive because we're often moving lower to get higher sounds. So that's actually a little bit challenging. Although if you just, I guess if you just do what I'm telling you there, it's probably easier than trying to figure it out yourself because I found it painful, quite frankly. All right, now you're back to the A section. All the same things that you've done. Bring it this way a little bit. Okay, slightly different at the B flat 7. Okay, I'm gonna start letting you work this out now because, yeah, if you've gotten this far, it's the same chord I played before. I've just done a little bit of different melody, and it's have a look, use your brain. Probably seems harder than you think, but it's not as hard as you think, depending on how able you are. Anyway, so then we got that C again. And I often like to add that thumb later. The harmonics. The descending part. Now, I like to sometimes go... So I'm picking the 5th string, the 4th string, and I'm sliding that 6th fret up to the 15. You don't have to, though. You can just do what we did before. Okay, and this is the different part of the song. So... all repeats, more or less everything I just showed you was very much a repeat of the A section. Now it goes so E, D, or 5th fret, 3rd on the 2nd. Okay, so what we're doing now, we're doing an F6-9. Okay, so 8 from the 5th string, 8, 7, 7, 8. We're doing an F6-9, an E6-9. And then we're doing a B flat. Forgot what sort of chord this is. This is a B flat 6, B flat major 6. My apologies for the delay. But what I do is I actually, rather than play the root note, I like to block the 5th string and play the 5th. So I like to play the C in the bass, or the 8th fret of the 6th string in the bass instead of the 8th fret there, and I have that dead. And that last chord goes 6 dead. Muted, right? So it's muted, and I do hit it with my thumb. First finger on the 5th fret of the 4th string, pinky on the 7th of the 3rd, and the 3rd finger 6th fret of the 2nd. All right. So, all right. Now I like this part. This is really fun. A little octave. Always a little bit of a nod to guys like Django and Wes. So that's an octave there from the 3rd and the 5, and an octave from the 5 and the 7. You can pinch it, but of course you want that sound where you get that dead in between. Then, good old C major. Alright, C major bar chord. Like an A chord, right, but up at the 5th fret, bar across there. When you do this, make sure you only strum to the 2nd string. You want that E natural. Then strum again right up. Because what we're doing is we're getting that. That's taking the melody. We're just going to use C major chords all the way up, or inversions of C major. It's really quite pretty, and just doesn't need to be anything else. So that's just like the F, or like the chord we used before, but I don't necessarily worry about that every time. That lower note, you can, but you don't have to. Sorry, I'm getting a phone call, but I'm going to plow through it. Alright, so that chord there, we got that one. Then we got up to the 12th fret, and this is acting as a C major 7. Okay? We've got, normally we might play the C natural there. Okay? So it's like a D chord, but all the way up here, it's going to become a C. D, E, F, G, A, B, or A, B, C. Okay, so it's a C chord, and then you add your pinky there, and that's the melody note. But if we drop that C and we get the B natural, it's like a C major 7. Okay, it's a really nice sound. And then, if we just let that go altogether, we're just playing an E minor triad. Now what I normally do is I actually play that as harmonics, but I forgot in that little thing I did before. So I get to there. You can do that. But what I did before was... So I played the... And then I just hit them as harmonics like that, which is quite fun as well. It just happened and I quite liked it, so I left it. So... This is just a descending step because the next chord's a D minor. So we went from a C to an E minor using those harmonics, or those 12th frets across. We hit the 11th fret as a stepping stone to the D, because that there is the same as that, which is 1 fret away from that, which is the same as the open 4th string. Watch that again if it went too quickly. Watch it a couple of times. It will make sense, I swear. So here's your... After we do that note at the 11th, flatten the 10th fret on the 3rd, 2nd and 1st string, put the pinky on the 12. Okay. And that's a D minor 9. Lift up the pinky. Just a regular D minor. We're just getting that melody at the end now. Use your ear, have a look at what I'm doing. At this point I want you to start working out what I'm doing. Okay, that's 13 on the 2. I'm making it pretty easy for you. Then the 10. We play that 12 with the pinky again. Little stepping note. There's the 11 to the 10, because it's a G, our second last chord. And I pinch the G and the B. First and third, as easy as you can get in terms of chords. So I was just talking about chord tones there. The first of the chord, the third of the chord. Now, this bit's a little tricky, so watch this. Alright, so we're doing harmonics. We hit these 2 notes of the chord, then we do the 3rd fret, the 3rd string, 12th fret on the 3rd string. Then we do the 7th fret on the 4th string, harmonic. Then I play the F natural on the 6th fret of the 2nd string. Then I go up to the G again, the 3rd string, the 12th fret on the 3rd string, harmonic. And then I play the 1st string at the 12th fret. And then I play the F again. Then I do a harmonic on the 7th fret of the 3rd string. So that F, by the way, you can see where it is. And then we're finished. We can do a C. So you can strum a C chord. What I did was do like a bit of almost like a classical. Okay, so they are all inversions of C. And then I put my first finger on the 15, 17, 19, 20th fret, and then just to get that really high note without losing that chord, I come all the way back here, drop back 1, so I'm playing a B natural now, and I use my pinky. I'm holding a C up at this end, and I use my pinky to just go like that. So that's a little fancy. That was a little fancier than it needed to be, but it was fun. Keep an eye out for the tab. I think it mightn't hurt to do some tab because it's fairly complex, but if you can play that piece on any guitar, I think it will sound good. You know, it was really aimed at just sounding good on the guitar and being really fun to play. So I hope you've gotten something out of it. It's always tricky to do these videos because you don't want to make it too simple and bore people, but you don't want to make it too complex and really limit who has a go, because I believe everyone can have a good shot at anything if they really put their mind to it. So thanks for watching. Please share the videos, and yeah, it's fun. Hope you enjoy it, and comment and tell me what you think. And yeah, you can donate to I've got a PayPal thing if you want tabs and stuff. I usually just suggest donations, not necessary, but always helpful. So thanks a lot, and I've had some really good support from some people as well. So thank you, and I hope you enjoyed.